Colleagues, this is Field Transmission 002. Junior Anthropologist Xr'val reporting. Observation Post 7. Currently stationed inside what the humans call an office building, Floor 4, cloaked, undetected, and, for the record, genuinely struggling to understand what is happening here. We have been observing subject for 6 hours now. We have more questions than when we arrived. Before we begin, we want to address the follow-up memo from Senior Researcher Voll-Taan regarding our previous field report on the sleep cycle. The memo suggested, in its second paragraph, that our description of the pillow thermal acquisition protocol was, and we quote, 37 sentences longer than necessary. We would like to note that every sentence was necessary. We would also like to note that Voll-Taan has clearly never watched a human flip a pillow. We stand by the report. Tonight, or rather, today, we observe something entirely different. The humans call it work. Subject for arrived at the building at what they describe as 9 in the morning, though we observed them leaving their dwelling at 8:47. Sitting in a metal transport vehicle for 31 minutes moving approximately 4 kilometers, and arriving here stressed despite having, by our calculations, more than enough time. We have filed a preliminary report on this phenomenon. It is titled, The Commute, a Study in Self-Inflicted Suffering. We will expand on it in a future transmission. The office building is large. Much larger than the sleeping chamber. It contains approximately 200 humans, all of whom have arrived at roughly the same time. All of whom are now performing a ritual we have classified as settling in. Settling in involves the following sequence. The human arrives. They place a bag on or beside a chair. They sit down. They look at a large glowing rectangle and they stare at it for a moment as if trying to remember why they are here. Then they stand back up and go to get coffee. Colleagues, we have observed that 94% of humans, upon arriving at their workplace, do not begin working. They begin the coffee ritual. This is non-negotiable. It is performed with the urgency of a medical procedure and the reverence of a religious ceremony. The coffee machine is located in a room called the kitchen. The kitchen also contains a refrigerator, a microwave, and approximately 14 containers of food that nobody has claimed in several weeks but nobody will throw away either. We have classified these as the intermediate nourishment zone and filed them under Behavioral Mysteries, Category 7. Subject for arrived at the kitchen and found 3 other humans already there. None of them particularly wanted to be there at the same time. And yet here they were, performing what we have classified as proximity small talk. Proximity small talk is a ritualized exchange that occurs when 2 or more humans find themselves in a shared space and feel the social obligation to acknowledge each other's existence without actually committing to a real conversation. It follows a precise script. Human 1 says, "How was your weekend?" Human 2 says, "Good. Yeah, good. Busy. Yours?" Human 1 says, "Yeah, same. Really flew by." Both humans nod. Neither human elaborates. The exchange is complete. We have recorded this exact interaction, word for word, across 43 different pairs of humans in this building alone. Once, memorably, someone said, "It's going so fast, isn't it?" referring to the year, and both humans looked briefly into the middle distance with an expression we have classified as shared temporal dread before returning to their coffee. We have 14 pages of notes on proximity small talk. Voll-Taan will suggest this is too many pages. Voll-Taan is wrong. Subject for return to their desk with coffee. The desk warrants description. It is a flat surface approximately the size of a sleeping platform, oriented horizontally at sitting height, and covered with approximately 14 objects whose purpose ranges from obvious to entirely unclear. There is the large glowing rectangle, which they call a monitor. There is a smaller rectangle they type on, which produces letters. There is a telephone that, in 6 hours of observation, has not rung once. There is a small plant that appears to be surviving despite receiving no visible care or attention. And there is a mug. Not the coffee mug from the kitchen. A different mug. A personal mug. Brought from home. Containing, we discovered upon closer inspection, cold coffee that was made approximately 2 hours before subject for left for work and then forgotten. Subject for does not appear to have noticed this mug at all. We are watching it. Now. The email. Colleagues, we must discuss the email before anything else. Because when subject for sat down this morning and looked at the large glowing rectangle, the first thing they did was open a program called email. And what they found there was extraordinary. 47 messages had arrived since they last checked, which was yesterday evening at 9:43, which is itself a detail we find concerning. 47 messages. In approximately 11 hours. From colleagues who were, during most of those 11 hours, theoretically also not working. Subject for began reading them. The first message was informational. It described a change to a process that subject for had already been informed of in a previous email. So this email was, in essence, a summary of a document about a change that has now been described across 3 separate communications. We are logging this under redundant information cascade. The second email required a response. Subject for read it. Then read it again. Then minimized it and opened something else. Then came back to it. Then typed 3 words. Then deleted them. Then typed a different sentence. Then deleted that too. Then typed a reply that took about 30 seconds to write. The composing process took 9 minutes. We want to be clear about something, colleagues. The email was not difficult. The reason it took 9 minutes was not the email itself but the performance around the email. The choosing of words that were firm but not aggressive. Helpful but not too eager. Professional but still somehow warm. The human email, we have concluded, is not primarily a communication tool. It is a diplomatic document. Every sentence is chosen with the care of a treaty negotiation. And they write dozens of them a day. The third email was from someone called Do Not Reply. We have many questions about this entity. It appears frequently in the human email system. It sends information but accepts none in return. It is, by design, unreachable. We have filed this under Digital Ghosts, Category 2. By the time subject for reached email 17, the coffee was finished. They went and got another one. This is what we have classified as the second coffee threshold. Crossing it means the morning has officially begun. Now, the chat application. In addition to email, the humans in this building communicate via a separate messaging application. It operates in real time. Messages appear instantly. Responses are expected quickly. And yet the application also contains something called a status. Focusing means, I am here, I can see your message, I am choosing not to respond to it right now. Please do not take this personally even though you might. We have deep respect for the focusing status. It is, in our assessment, one of the most honest forms of human communication we have encountered. Subject 4's status this morning was set to available. This was, we observed, aspirational rather than accurate. The messages came quickly. A colleague sharing something they found funny, which was a small image with text on it that humans call a meme, and subject for did laugh, genuinely. A meme. 2 seconds. Back to work. We filed this under Brief Emotional Sunlight, Category 1. It is a new category. We created it today. Subject for spent the next 40 minutes alternating between the email program and the chat application while a document sat open in another window, waiting. The document was waiting patiently, as it had been since Monday. At 11 in the morning, subject for stood up and walked to a room called a conference room. The conference room contains a large table, many chairs, a screen on the wall, and today, 8 humans who have all agreed to be in this room at this time for what is described on the calendar as a sync. We looked up this word in the local language database. A sync means to coordinate or align. What actually happened in the room was this. 7 of the 8 humans sat around the table. 1 human stood at the front and shared information that could have been communicated via written document in approximately 4 minutes. Instead, it was communicated verbally over 37 minutes, with slides. The slides contained the following: the information that was being communicated, in text form, on the screen, while the human at the front also communicated it verbally, meaning everyone was simultaneously reading and listening to the same information delivered in 2 formats at once. Several humans in the room also had questions. 3 of these questions led to discussions that required scheduling another meeting to resolve. The meeting about the meeting. Colleagues, we have observed this phenomenon across all of our human workplace research. It appears to be self-sustaining. Meetings generate action items. Action items generate follow-up meetings. Follow-up meetings generate more action items. The model suggests that if left unchecked, by the year 2087, humans will spend 100% of their working hours in meetings discussing meetings they need to have about meetings. We shared this finding with Xr'val. Xr'val said, "Honestly, that tracks. We are concerned about Xr'val." During the meeting, we observed several behavioral patterns worth documenting. The first is what we have classified as performed engagement. The eyebrows are slightly raised. The head nods occasionally. The eyes move between the speaker and the slides with a rhythm that suggests active processing. In reality, we detected in 3 of the 8 humans clear neural signatures consistent with thinking about something else entirely. 1 appeared to be planning dinner. 1 appeared to be replaying a conversation from earlier. 1 appeared to be composing an email in their head. All 3 of them looked, to the untrained observer, completely present. We are in awe of this capability. The second pattern is the meeting laptop. 3 humans brought their personal typing rectangles into the meeting. This creates a layered experience. The human is simultaneously in the meeting and not in the meeting. It is, we think, a form of time travel that humans have developed out of necessity. The third pattern is the question that is not a question. Near the end of the meeting, 1 human raised their hand and proceeded to restate everything that had just been said, in different words, for approximately 3 minutes. The human at the front nodded throughout and said yes, exactly, several times. This is what the humans call adding value. The meeting ended. Everyone said great, thanks, good chat, and dispersed back to their desks. Nothing had visibly changed. And yet something had happened. It had been acknowledged. Whatever it was. It had been acknowledged. At 12 in the afternoon, the human stopped working and ate food. This is called lunch. Lunch is theoretically a break from work. In practice, 4 humans ate at their desks. 2 humans ate in the kitchen while discussing work. 1 human went outside and walked around the block while listening to a work-related audio program. And subject for sat with 2 colleagues at a table and spent the first 8 minutes discussing work before spending the final 12 minutes discussing a television program they had all been watching. This was the closest thing to rest we observed all day. Those 12 minutes. We noted them. We noted the way subject 4's shoulders dropped slightly. The way the conversation moved without agenda. The way someone laughed, a real laugh, not the polite acknowledgement sound that humans make in meetings, and for a moment the office fell away and they were just 3 people enjoying a story. 12 minutes. And then someone said, "I should get back." And they all got back. Now. An incident. At 12:47, a human in the kitchen placed a container of food into the microwave. The food contained fish. Colleagues, we want to be precise here. The fish itself was not the problem. Fish is a nutritious and widely consumed food source. The problem was the smell. The smell of microwaved fish spread across the 4th floor within approximately 90 seconds. We observed the response. It was silent. Nobody said anything. But 23 humans, simultaneously, without coordination, without a single word exchanged, reacted. Some closed their eyes briefly. Some turned their heads slightly. Some performed a very small, very controlled exhale through the nose. One human typed into the chat application, "the kitchen." 3 people responded with a single character, a period. This is what we have classified as collective unspoken suffering. The shared experience of something mildly terrible, acknowledged only through implication, united in silence. The fish human finished their lunch. They washed their container. They put it away. They returned to their desk. 23 humans said nothing. We find this remarkable. The restraint. The civilization of it. The afternoon, colleagues, is a different creature from the morning. The morning has coffee and possibility. The morning has the theoretical chance that today will be the day everything gets done. The morning is almost optimistic. The afternoon has none of this. The afternoon begins at approximately 2 in the afternoon, when the human body reaches what we have classified as the cortisol cliff. The cortisol cliff is the point at which the morning's energy reserves are depleted and the brain begins to seriously question its life choices. Subject for hit the cortisol cliff at 2:07 p.m. We know because they stopped typing mid-sentence, leaned back in their chair, and stared at the ceiling for approximately 15 seconds. Then they checked the personal rectangle. Then they got up and went to get more coffee. Subject 4's 4th coffee of the day. They drank it standing at the kitchen window, looking outside at the street below. We watched them watch the street. The street contained cars, and people walking, and a dog being walked by a human who looked, from this height, very small and very free. Subject 4 watched the dog for a long time. Then went back to the desk. We want to talk about the bathroom. This will be brief, and clinical, and respectful. The bathroom is the only room in this building where a human is permitted to be entirely alone. No colleagues. No rectangles. No meetings. No chat applications. No emails from do not reply. Just a person. And a door that locks. We observed that several humans, including subject 4, used the bathroom today in a way that suggested it was not primarily a biological necessity but rather a strategic retreat. A sanctioned escape. A moment of legitimate solitude in a building designed for constant proximity. Subject 4 spent 4 minutes in the bathroom at 2:30 p.m. We know because Xr'val 4 was timing it. Xr'val 4 said, 4 minutes is respectable. We are still concerned about Xr'val 4. When subject 4 returned from the bathroom, they sat down with slightly more purpose than before. The brief solitude had done something. Reset something. Whatever had been accumulating through the morning had been quietly set down somewhere between the bathroom door and the desk. Humans are remarkable at this. The small recalibrations, the tiny resets, the 4 minutes alone that make the next 2 hours possible. We have not yet found a word in any language we know for this specific thing. We are working on it. The document that had been waiting since Monday was opened at 2:45 p.m. Subject for looked at it, scrolled through it, went back to the top, and began to work. Real work, this time. The fingers moved differently. The eyes moved differently. The body had a particular quality of stillness that we have come to recognize as genuine focus, distinct from performed focus. It lasted 40 minutes. 40 uninterrupted minutes. Nobody came to the desk. The chat application stayed quiet. No meeting appeared on the calendar. And in those 40 minutes, subject for produce something. 40 minutes. We want to note that in a workday of 8 hours, 40 minutes of genuine uninterrupted focus represented a significant achievement. This is not a criticism. It is simply what we observed. The humans have built a system that makes sustained attention very difficult. The system then rewards the results of sustained attention. These two facts exist simultaneously and nobody appears to have flagged the contradiction. We have flagged it. At 3:45, the chat application produced a message. It was from a colleague. It said, "Quick question," and then asked a question that was not quick. Subject for answered it. Then answered a follow-up. Then answered a follow-up to the follow-up. Then the colleague said, "Thanks, sorry to bother you." Subject for said, "No worries at all." Both of these statements were partially true. This is observation command. Xr'val. We have reviewed your preliminary notes from today's observation and have several concerns. First concern. You have described the office kitchen refrigerator contents in 4 paragraphs. We are allocating you 1. The refrigerator contents tell a story. The unlabeled container of what may once have been soup. The birthday cake from last Thursday. This is not 4 paragraphs of excess. This is character study. Second concern. You have classified the conference room meeting as a performance of productivity rather than productivity itself. The committee feels this characterization may be editorializing. The committee has not attended the meeting. If the committee had attended the meeting, the committee would understand. Third concern. You described a moment where subject for watched a dog from the window and you wrote the word free in your field notes. Underlined. This is not a scientific observation Xr'val. It is an accurate one. Fourth concern. You have created a new behavioral category called brief emotional sunlight. The committee does not feel this rises to the level of a formal category. The committee laughs at things too. The committee just does not document it. Perhaps the committee should. Observation command. Continue your report. Maintain objectivity. We will try. At 4 in the afternoon, something shifted. It was more like a change in the atmosphere of the room. A collective awareness that settled over the floor like weather. 1 hour left. No one said it. No one needed to. It was simply known. And with this knowledge came a paradox we have observed across every human workplace we have studied. With 1 hour remaining in the workday, productivity did not increase. It did not decrease. It did something stranger. It became performative. Humans who had been relatively still for the past hour began typing more visibly, moving between applications with greater apparent purpose. looking busy in a way that was subtly, almost imperceptibly different from actually being busy. We have a theory about this. The theory is that the last hour of the workday is not about the work. It is about leaving with integrity. It is about being able to say, to oneself more than anyone else, that one worked until the end. Even if the last hour produced very little. One worked. One was here. That, colleagues, appears to matter. At 4:30, subject for received an email. The email was from someone called management. Subject for read it. Read it again. Forwarded it to a colleague with no message, just a single punctuation mark. A period. Just a period. The colleague responded with a period. This exchange communicated volumes. Our best approximation is, yes, I also have feelings about this, and those feelings are complicated, and I choose not to elaborate further in writing where it can be recorded. The period. A masterpiece of human understatement. We are filing a separate report on the period. Voll-Taan will not approve it. We are filing it anyway. But here is what we also observed. After sending the period, the colleague turned slightly in their chair. And subject for, without looking up, also shifted slightly. Two humans acknowledging something wordlessly across the distance between their desks. The rest happened in posture. At 4:45, subject for opened the document again. The one from Monday. They read what they had written in the 40-minute focus window earlier. They added 2 sentences. They saved the document. They closed it. This is what the humans sometimes call good enough for today. We find this phrase one of the more psychologically sophisticated things humans say to themselves. It says, I am a finite creature operating within finite hours, and I have done what I could, and tomorrow is a real thing that will come, and the work will still be there, and so will I good enough for today. We have added this to our language database under human wisdom, everyday category. At 4:58, subject for began what we have classified as the pre-departure sequence. Checking the personal rectangle for messages one final time. Closing all open programs on the large rectangle. Drinking the last of the cold coffee that has been sitting beside the keyboard for approximately 2 hours, grimacing slightly, continuing anyway. Putting items from the desk into the bag. Putting on a jacket. Looking at the desk one more time. That last look. It is the look of someone surveying the evidence of their day. The half-finished document. The notebook with 3 items crossed off and 2 added. The cold coffee mug that will be washed tomorrow. The plant that is still, improbably, alive. The day was not perfect. It was not the day they imagined at 9 this morning. They did not get everything done. They got some things done. They got through it. And tomorrow they will come back and try again. Subject for picked up their bag. And walked to the elevator. In the elevator, there were 3 other humans. All of them were leaving at the same time. One of them said, "Have a good one." The others said, "You too." The elevator opened. They dispersed. We followed subject for outside. The street was different from this morning. The light had changed. The quality of the air was different. The city had a particular feeling at this hour, 5 in the afternoon, when the day shifts from the time for doing things to the time for having done things. Subject for stood on the pavement for a moment. Just a moment. They did not check the rectangle. They did not put the devices in their ears. They just stood there. And took a breath. The long breath of someone who has been holding something all day and is only now, in the open air, allowing themselves to put it down. We watched this breath. We did not log it in the official record. Some things do not need to be logged. They just need to be witnessed. We want to go back even further now. To before the building. To the commute. Subject for drives a metal vehicle approximately 4 kilometers from their dwelling to this building, a journey that takes, by the most direct route, approximately 11 minutes. It took 31 minutes today. The reason is what the humans call traffic, which is a phenomenon where many vehicles attempt to occupy the same stretch of road at the same time and everyone slows down and nobody is happy about it. Subject for waited. They listen to an informational program through the vehicle's audio system. A human talking to other humans through a recording, through a device, through a vehicle, through traffic, into subject 4's ears at 7 minutes past 9 on a Tuesday morning. The world, colleagues, is extraordinary. We want to document what subject 4's face looked like during the commute. It is different from the work face. Softer than the work face. The commute face is a face in transition. Neither the home face nor the work face. Something in between. At one point in the traffic, subject 4's vehicle was stationary for approximately 4 minutes. During those 4 minutes, subject 4 did not look at the personal rectangle. They just sat hands on the wheel, looking at the vehicle in front of them. And in their expression, we observed something we have now classified as the commute quiet. A particular stillness. Not yet at work. No longer at home. Just here. In the traffic. In the quiet. We found this, unexpectedly, one of the more peaceful things we observed today. Now. More on the colleague dynamic. The office contains approximately 200 humans. They did not choose each other. They were placed together by a system and they are expected to function as a unit. This is, when you think about it, remarkable. 200 humans, mostly strangers before they arrived here, working side by side every day, developing relationships that exist in a specific category unlike any other human relationship. Not friends exactly. Not family. Not strangers anymore. Something uniquely workplace. We have been trying to find a word for it. The texture of it is this. These are the humans who see subject for more than almost anyone else. They share the fish smell. They share the cortisol cliff. They share the knowing glance when the email from management arrives. They are not chosen. But they are known. There is a specific kind of intimacy in that. In being known by someone you did not choose. Today subject for interacted with 8 colleagues in meaningful ways. The first was the colleague who appeared at the desk at 9:47 and asked, "Do you have a minute?" This colleague did not just need a minute. They needed 12. And subject for gave them. Which tells us something about subject 4. That they are the kind of person who says yes when they mean yes and also when they mean probably not, but I can see you need this and so yes anyway. The second was the colleague at lunch. The one who laughed at the television story. The one whose laugh unlocked the real laugh from subject 4. We know they can make subject 4 laugh. And that this is, in the economy of a workday, valuable beyond measure. The third was the colleague who received the forwarded email with the single period. We spent 40 minutes writing a report about the subsequent postural communication. Voll-Taan will say it is too long. It is not. The fourth colleague was someone who walked past subject 4's desk at 3 in the afternoon and said, "How's it going?" Subject 4 said, "Good, yeah, getting there." The colleague said, "Yeah, same." And walked on. This interaction lasted approximately 4 seconds. It contained no information of value. And yet, subject 4 looked slightly better after it. The tiny social acknowledgement. The recognition that another human had seen them, checked in, moved on. This costs nothing. It takes 4 seconds. And it does something. We are classifying it under small kindnesses, office category. Now, the email inbox in more detail. We want to spend more time here because the email inbox is, we have concluded, one of the most psychologically complex spaces a human navigates in their daily life. It is a list. A simple, scrolling list. But each item on the list is a demand. Subject for received 47 emails today. They sent 22. They read all 47. They responded to 16. The remaining 31 remain in what they call the inbox, waiting. The inbox never reaches 0. We know this because subject for told a colleague at lunch, "I don't think my inbox has ever been at 0. The colleague said, "Mine hasn't since 2019. The email that took 9 minutes to write. Because the email is not just a vehicle for information. It is a vessel for relationship. The 9 minutes are not wasted. The 9 minutes are the invisible labor that keeps the whole system running. We have deep respect for the 9 minutes. Now we want to discuss the desk objects more fully. The plant, small, green, resilient. A succulent, we believe, specifically adapted to survive neglect. We think subject for chose it consciously, at some level, as a plant that would survive them. A small green constant. The papers, there are 3 stacks. The first stack is active. The second stack is older. The third stack has not been touched in at least 3 weeks. It sits with the particular stillness of a thing that has been meaning to be dealt with. Subject for looked at it twice today. Both times they looked away. We are not judging the third stack. We all have a third stack. The personal mug from home, at for 53, subject for finally saw it. They picked it up. They looked at it. They smelled it. They put it back. And then, in a gesture that tells us everything we need to know about subject for's relationship with optimism and self-knowledge, they decided they would wash it tomorrow. We love this. We cannot explain why. We just love it. Now. The end of the day. More slowly. At for 56, subject for saved the document. Then closed the email program. Then closed the chat application. Then closed 3 other windows. Closing them was its own small process. Each window closed was a small release. At for 58, they pushed the chair back. Stood up. Stretched. The neck roll, for the 7th and final time today. Kells for updated the tally. At for 59, subject for looked at the plant. Not at the desk overall. Specifically at the plant. We are classifying it under acknowledgement, small living things category. The plant stayed. Subject for left. We want to tell you about the moment at 8:58. 1 minute before 9. When subject for was at their desk and the day was about to begin. Subject for was looking at a photograph. A small photograph, physical, printed on paper, placed at the edge of the desk in a simple frame. We could not see who was in the photograph. But we saw subject for look at it. And the expression that crossed their face was very specific. It was not the work expression. Not the meeting nod. Not the email composure. It was the other thing. The private thing. The thing that exists before and after and around and underneath the 8 hours. That look lasted 3 seconds. Then the email program opened. And the day began. We are logging it here. Because we think it matters. Not the productivity. Not the deliverables. That look. That 3 seconds. That is what the day was for. That is what all the days are for. Now, we want to discuss the physical environment of the office. The desks are arranged in what is called an open plan. This means there are no walls between individual humans. What it actually encourages is the development of an extraordinary skill we have classified as selective deafness. The ability to hear everything while appearing to hear nothing. Subject for demonstrated advanced selective deafness throughout the day. At 10:17, a colleague 2 desks away had a phone call that lasted 11 minutes and contained the sentence "I just don't know what they were thinking" 3 times at increasing volume. Subject for did not look up once. This is mastery. The chairs also warrant documentation. The office chairs are adjustable. In practice, subject for has been sitting in their chair for approximately 8 months and has never adjusted it from the position it was in when they first sat down. The chair is not at the correct height for their body. We can tell because subject for's shoulders are slightly elevated when typing, which creates mild tension in the upper back, which subject for relieves periodically by rolling their neck in a slow circle while staring at the ceiling. We have observed this neck roll 6 times today. Xr'val is keeping a tally. There is a wall in this office covered in a motivational poster. It shows a mountain and some text. The text says, "The summit is just the beginning." Subject for walked past this poster 14 times today. They did not look at it once. We want to revisit the meeting. Specifically the behavior of the humans who were not the one speaking. The art of being a non-speaking participant in a human meeting. First, the pose. The pen is important. Humans in meetings hold pens even when they have no intention of writing anything. The pen signals that writing is possible. Very little is written. The pen is mostly a prop. Second, the nod. The meeting nod is a small, slow, continuous movement of the head that indicates processing. Subject for is an excellent nodder. We observed and rated the nodding of all 8 meeting participants. Subject for scored second highest. Third, the question. Subject for asked 1 question today. It was 43 seconds. We are proud of them. We will not tell them. Now, the afternoon in greater detail. Phase 1, the post-lunch wait. The human body, having consumed food, redirects blood and energy toward digestion. The brain receives slightly less. The post-lunch wait remains. They have coffee. They have the bathroom retreat. But it remains. Phase 2, the false productivity surge. This occurs between 2 and 3 in the afternoon, when the coffee takes effect and the human briefly feels capable of everything. This is the phase when subject for opened the Monday document and worked for 40 minutes. This phase is precious. It never lasts as long as it should. Phase 3, the negotiation. The human must negotiate between what they plan to accomplish and what they have actually accomplished. It ends in one of 3 outcomes. Outcome 1, I will stay late. Outcome 2, I will come in early tomorrow. Outcome 3, good enough for today. Subject for chose outcome 3. Wise. Phase 4, the counting down. The clock. The time is for 17. The time is for 23. The time is for 31. For 31 is when subject for first allowed themselves to think about what they would do when they got home. What do I want to eat? Do I have anything to watch? I could go for a walk. These thoughts lasted approximately 4 seconds before the chat application produced another message. But they were there. At 9:12, subject for opened a small window containing a handwritten list photographed and stored digitally. A list of things they wanted to accomplish today. 10 items. They looked at it. Read through it. Then minimized the window. Then opened the email. The list sat minimized all day. At the end of the day, subject for opened the list again. They looked at it. 3 items had been accomplished. We watched subject for count them. 1, 2, 3. 7 remained. Subject for closed the list. Did not delete it. Did not add to it. Simply closed it. We want to be precise about what their expression was in that moment. It was not disappointment. It was something more complicated than disappointment. It was the expression of a human who made a list of 10 things in the morning with a particular version of the day in mind, and the day turned out to be a different version, and 3 things got done instead of 10, and the human is deciding, in real time, whether this is a failure or simply the way things are. The list will be there tomorrow. 3 things checked off. 7 waiting. And every day they come back. And make a new one. And try again. We find this, colleagues, one of the bravest things we observe in the human workplace. The list. Made in the morning with hope. Reviewed at night with honesty. And still there tomorrow. Still trying. We want to now do something we have not done in a formal field report before. We want to address subject for directly. Not the general you. The specific one. Subject for. We have been with you all day. You did not know that. You were in the meeting and we were there. You were in the bathroom taking your 4 minutes and we were nearby and we knew you needed it. You were at the kitchen window watching the dog and we were watching you watch the dog. We have been here. Not to evaluate you. Not to judge the 3 items versus the 7. We were here because you are interesting. Not in a grand way. Because you are ordinary. In exactly the way that ordinary is the most interesting thing. You got up this morning. You drove 4 kilometers in 31 minutes. You settled in. You made a list. You opened the email. You gave someone 12 minutes. You watched a dog from a window. You worked for 40 minutes. You added 2 sentences. And at the end of the day you stood on the pavement and breathed and the breath was real and it was yours and it was enough. That is all of it. That is the whole thing. That is what we have been documenting. And it is worth documenting. You are worth documenting. We want to add something about the commute home. We followed subject 4. The metal vehicle moved through the city in the early evening. The traffic lighter than this morning. The journey approximately 19 minutes. Subject for drove in silence for the first 7 minutes. No audio program. No music. Just the sound of the vehicle and the city outside it. 7 minutes of silence. After the day of the open plan office and the meeting and the 47 emails and the fish smell and all of it. 7 minutes of silence. We want to note that these 7 minutes were, by our assessment, some of the most valuable of the day. Not productive. Not efficient. Not optimized for any measurable output. Just silent. Just the human. In the vehicle. Between where they were and where they are going. At minute 8, subject for turned on the audio. But it was different from the morning. In the morning it was an informational program. In the evening it was music. Just music. We could see subject 4's left hand on the steering wheel, and at some point, at some note or beat or phrase in the music, the hand moved. Just slightly. A small movement of the fingers. Almost a tap. Not quite. the body responding to sound. We turned our instruments away. Some things deserve their moment without being documented, even by us. Subject for arrived home 19 minutes after leaving the building. We did not follow them inside. This is where the observation ends. What happens behind the door of the dwelling after the day is theirs. It belongs to the photograph in the simple frame. We want to close now with something about the office plants. There are 11 plants on this floor. 3 are thriving. 4 are surviving. 3 are struggling. 1 is dead. The dead plant is still on a desk. Nobody has removed it. It has been there, we estimate, for approximately 3 weeks. We are not saying the dead plant is a metaphor. We are scientists. We are just saying nobody has thrown it away. And we noticed. Now, we are going to slow down. The day is done. Subject for is on their way home. And now we want to do what we did at the end of the sleep observation. We want to just be here. With you. Whoever you are. At the end of your day. If you worked today, we saw you. We saw the emails you answered and the ones you didn't. We saw the meeting you were in and the thought you had during it that you kept to yourself. We saw the moment you almost said something and decided not to. We saw the 3 seconds where you looked at whatever it is you look at when you need to remember what the day is for. We saw you try. Not perfectly. Nobody does it perfectly. But you tried. And that is enough. That has always been enough. The rectangle can wait. Whatever is on the list can wait. The plant, wherever it is, will be there tomorrow. The cold coffee will be washed tomorrow. The document will be a little longer tomorrow. And so will you. Rested. Ready. Enough. For now the breathing can slow. Just breathing. Just here. The day behind you. The night ahead. The self that belongs to the work stepping quietly aside. And the other self. The one that is yours. Just yours. Stepping forward. We are here. Watching over you. The way we always are. Quietly. Carefully. With what our language still does not have a word for. But yours does. Good night. We want to go back to 10 in the morning. At 10 in the morning, subject for put on headphones. Small headphones. Placed over the ears. Plugged into the typing rectangle. And a moment later, sound began flowing into their ears. The shoulders dropped approximately 3 millimeters. The typing became slightly faster. The eyes moved across the screen with a different quality of attention. Subject for had created, using only 2 small objects placed over their ears, a private room inside the open plan office. A room with no walls. Invisible to anyone who did not know to look. And inside that invisible room, subject for worked. For 26 minutes, before the colleague appeared at the desk. The headphones as a social contract. The headphones as a boundary. The headphones as a wall made of sound and social convention. We find this one of the more elegant solutions the humans have developed to the problem of being in constant proximity to other humans while also needing to think. Subject 4's invisible room lasted 26 minutes. Then a colleague appeared. And the private room dissolved. And subject 4 took off the headphones. And smiled. And said, "Of course. We want to now document the morning in its entirety, more slowly." At 9 exactly, subject 4 opened the email program. The 47 messages were there. Waiting. as they had been since last night at 9:43. Email number 23. Email number 23 was from a person whose name we recognize from previous emails. Someone subject for communicates with regularly. Email number 23 was not about work. It said, "Saw your message about the deadline, totally understood, hope things are okay on your end, how was the weekend?" Subject for replied to this email before replying to 11 other emails that were more urgent. We noted this. It tells us something about what subject for values. About what makes the inbox survivable. A person asking how the weekend was. Not because they need the information. Because they wanted to ask. Subject 4's reply to email number 23 took 4 minutes. 4 minutes for a message that was not on any task list. That would not advance any project. 4 minutes just to be a person talking to another person about ordinary things. We think this is important. We are leaving it in the category marked, possibly the whole point. Now, we want to talk about the desk plants again. We conducted a survey of all plants visible from our observation position. There are 11 plants on this floor. 3 are thriving. Large, green, clearly watered regularly. 4 are surviving. Not thriving. Not dying. Present. Getting by. 3 are struggling. And 1 is dead. The dead plant is still on a desk. Nobody has removed it. We are not saying the dead plant is a metaphor. We are just saying, it is still there. At 11:45, between the meeting ending and lunch beginning, subject for did something we want to document carefully. They went to the bathroom. Not the strategic retreat. This was different. The pre-lunch reset. A brief pause between one state and another. Subject for spent 3 minutes in the bathroom. Kel for noted, 3 minutes. Shorter than the afternoon. Consistent with our transition hypothesis. We agreed. Kelfer is becoming quite good at this. We are less concerned about Kelfer than we were earlier. When subject for returned from the bathroom, they collected their lunch from the bag at their desk. They walked to the table in the kitchen area. The 2 colleagues joined them shortly after. And the 12 minutes began. We want to spend more time on these 12 minutes. Because in a day of 8 hours, 12 minutes is not very long. But these 12 minutes had a texture that the rest of the day did not have. The conversation moved without agenda. That is the thing. The rest of the day, every conversation had a direction. An objective. Something it was trying to accomplish. But the lunch conversation moved because it wanted to. It went from one thing to another because something said made someone think of something else. The television program led to a memory one of them had, which led to a story, which led to a question, which led to the laugh. The real laugh. The one that sounded like the one subject for makes when they are not at work. The same thing funny. What a gift that is. What an unremarkable, everyday, essential gift. The 12 minutes ended. Someone said I should get back. And they all got back. And the afternoon began. We want to document something we observed at 2:50 in the afternoon. Subject 4's screen had 3 windows open. For approximately 4 minutes, subject 4 did not interact with any of them. They sat with all 3 windows visible, looking at none of them. This is not pre-work simulation. This was stillness. A pause in the middle of the afternoon. Our current theory is that it was processing. The brain had reached a point where it needed to stop receiving and sending for a moment and simply process what it had already received and sent. The pause as a necessary function. The stillness as part of the work. We think this is true not just of subject for but of all humans engaged in cognitively demanding work. They need the pause. Subject for took it today. For minutes. Then they went back to the document. And worked for 40 minutes. We believe the 4 minutes made the 40 minutes possible. There is, in this office, a particular human we have been observing alongside Subject 4. We have designated them Subject 7. Subject 7 sits 3 desks from Subject 4. They arrived at 8:43. Earlier than Subject 4. They had already begun working when Subject 4 arrived. At 10 in the morning, Subject 7 walked past Subject 4's desk and placed a small piece of paper on it. We could not read the paper from our position. But Subject 4 read it and smiled. A very small smile. The kind that is almost not a smile at all but is definitely a smile. At 3 in the afternoon, Subject 4 and Subject 7 had a conversation over the chat application that lasted approximately 8 minutes. We do not know what they talked about. But at the end of the conversation, Subject 4's expression was different. Lighter. Whatever was exchanged in those 8 minutes, it helped. This is what colleagues are. Not chosen, but known. And sometimes, the known ones are the ones who walk past your desk at 10 in the morning and leave a piece of paper that makes you smile. The ones who message you at 3 in the afternoon and say whatever they say that makes the afternoon lighter. We want to note that the day is full of people who matter without appearing on any task list. The colleague who says have a good one in the elevator. The person at the coffee machine who moves slightly to make room. The human whose dog Subject 4 watched from the window. These people did not accomplish anything together with Subject 4. And yet they were part of the day. They were part of what made it survivable. We are adding a new section to the report. It is called, The Small Human Kindnesses That Are Not on Any List. It will be the longest section. Now, we are going to slow down even further. The day is ending. We have covered what happened and what it meant. And now we want to do what we did at the end of the sleep observation. We want to just be here. With you. Whoever you are. At the end of your day. If you worked today, we saw you. We saw the emails you answered and the ones you didn't. We saw the meeting you were in and the thought you had during it that you kept to yourself. We saw the moment you almost said something and decided not to. We saw the 3 seconds where you looked at whatever it is you look at when you need to remember what the day is for. We saw you try. Not perfectly. Nobody does it perfectly. But you tried. And that is enough. That has always been enough. If you did not work today, we saw that too. Whatever your day was. Whatever it contained. We were watching. Not to judge. Only to witness. And what we witnessed was a person who got through it. The rectangle can wait. Whatever is on the list can wait. The plant, wherever it is, will be there tomorrow. The cold coffee will be washed tomorrow. The document will be a little longer tomorrow. The inbox will be a little fuller tomorrow. And so will you. Rested. Ready. Enough. For now the breathing can slow. Just breathing. Just here. The day behind you. The night ahead. The self that belongs to the work stepping quietly aside. And the other self. The one that is yours. Just yours. Stepping forward. We are here. Watching over you. The way we always are. Quietly. Carefully. With what our language still does not have a word for. But yours does. Good night. Field Report 002 complete. One last thing. We almost forgot. The mug. The cold coffee mug from home. That mug was filled with care this morning. Someone made coffee before the day began. Made it the way they like it. Put it in the mug they chose to bring to work. The personal one. Not the office mug. The one from home. And then the morning happened. The settling in. The email. The second coffee from the kitchen. The meeting. The afternoon. And the mug sat on the desk, cold, forgotten, all day long. A small act of morning care that the day consumed before it could be received. This happens. Every day something like this happens. The plan that the morning made for the day and the day makes for itself do not always match. The coffee gets cold. The list has 7 unchecked items. And tomorrow morning subject for will wash the mug. They will fill it again. They will bring it to the desk. And the day will consume it again, probably. And they will wash it again the next day. And fill it again. And bring it again. This is the human daily life in miniature. Small acts of morning hope. Consumed by the day. Washed. Refilled. Brought again. We love the mug. We cannot explain why. We just love it. And we love the human who fills it every morning. And brings it to the desk. And forgets it. And decides to wash it tomorrow. And comes back. And fills it again. We love the mug. We love the human. We love the tomorrow. Before we truly close, we want to revisit something from this morning. At 9:12, subject for opened a small window containing a list. A handwritten list, photographed and stored digitally, of things they wanted to accomplish today. 10 items. We observed them look at the list. Read through it. Then minimize the window. Then open the email. The list sat minimized all day. At the end of the day, subject for opened the list again. They looked at it. 3 items had been accomplished. We watched subject for count them. 1, 2, 3. 7 remained. Subject for closed the list. Did not delete it. Did not add to it. Simply closed it. We want to be precise about what their expression was in that moment. It was the expression of a human who made a list of 10 things in the morning with a particular version of the day in mind, and the day turned out to be a different version. 3 things got done instead of 10, and the human is deciding, in real time, whether this is a failure or simply the way things are. We watch them decide. It took approximately 8 seconds. The list will be there tomorrow. 3 things checked off. 7 waiting. Tomorrow it will be a different day. And every day they come back. And make a new one. And try again. We find this, colleagues, one of the bravest things we observe in the human workplace. Not the big things. Not the presentations or the projects or the promotions. The list. Made in the morning with hope. Reviewed at night with honesty. And still there tomorrow. Still trying. We want to do something we have not done in a formal field report before. We want to address subject for directly. Not the general you. The specific one. The one who sat at the desk today. The one who gave 12 minutes to the colleague who needed a minute. The one who watched the dog. The one who kept the plant alive. The one with the photograph in the simple frame. Subject 4. We have been with you all day. You did not know that. You were in the meeting and we were there. You were at the kitchen window watching the dog, and we were watching you watch the dog. We have been here. Not to evaluate you. Not to judge the 3 items versus the 7. We were here because you are interesting. Because you are ordinary. In exactly the way that ordinary is the most interesting thing. You got up this morning. You drove 4 kilometers in 31 minutes. You settled in. You made a list. You opened the email. You gave someone 12 minutes. You watched a dog from a window. You worked for 40 minutes. You added 2 sentences. And at the end of the day you stood on the pavement and breathed. That is all of it. That is the whole thing. That is what we have been documenting. And it is worth documenting. You are worth documenting. Every ordinary extraordinary person in every ordinary extraordinary building doing every ordinary extraordinary thing they do every day, day after day, for reasons that sit in simple frames at the edges of their desks. Worth documenting. All of it. We are going home now too. Wherever that is for us. We will file the report. Voll-Taan will read it. Voll-Taan will say it is too long. It is not too long. It is exactly as long as it needs to be. Because you needed the time. And so did we. Good night, Subject 4. Good night, colleagues. Good night, whoever is listening at the end of whatever this day was. We are grateful we got to watch. We are always grateful. This is Field Report 002. Observation complete. Transmission ending. Good night. We are still here. We know we said good night. We meant it. But we are still here. Because you might still be here too. And we want to sit with you for a moment longer. In the quiet after the day. The house or the apartment or the room that is yours after the building that is not quite yours. The sounds different here. Softer. The shoulders, if you are paying attention to them, are lower than they were at noon. Than they were at 5 on the pavement. They are finding their resting position. The position they would be in if there were no meetings, no emails, no fish smell to endure in silence. The jaw is unclenched. Perhaps you did not notice it was clenched. Many humans do not notice until it stops. The breath is slower. Not as slow as it will be when you sleep. But slower than the office. Slower than the commute. Slower than the list with 7 remaining items. Slower. You are decompressing. This is a word humans use for the process of returning to baseline. Of releasing the pressure that accumulates through the hours of the day. Of becoming, again, the self that exists for its own sake. The decompression takes time. Different amounts of time for different humans on different days. Some days it happens in the elevator. Some days it happens on the drive home. Some days it is still happening when you get into bed. On those days, we are also here. We want you to know that. On the days when the day does not let go, when the email is still in your head and the thing that was said in the meeting is still in your head, we are here. Watching. Not with concern. With recognition. We have observed many humans on many days. And we know, the day does let go. It always lets go. Not always when you want it to. But it lets go. And the morning comes. And you make the list again. And you fill the mug. And you go. We know this because we have been watching for a very long time. And the morning always comes. We promise you this from the authority of everything we have observed. The morning always comes. And you are always still there when it does. That is the whole thing. That is all of it. You. Still there. In the morning. Ready. Or not quite ready but going anyway. Which is the same thing. For now. The breathing can slow. One breath. Long and slow. Then another. Even slower. The thoughts quieting. Not all at once. One at a time. Like lights going off in a building at the end of the day. One floor at a time. Going dark. Going quiet. Going still. We are here. We have always been here. We will be here tomorrow. And the photograph will be there. And the mug will be washed. And the list will have new things on it. And the day will begin. But not yet. For now. Just this. Just the breath. Just the quiet. Just you. Here. Safe. Enough. Good night. Good night. Good night. We want to add something about the commute home. We followed subject 4. Not closely. From above, as always. Invisible, as always. The metal vehicle moved through the city in the early evening. The traffic lighter than this morning. The journey approximately 19 minutes. Shorter than the morning's 31. The city moving differently at this hour. Looser. Less purposeful in its movement. Subject for drove in silence for the first 7 minutes. No audio program. No music. Just the sound of the vehicle and the city outside it. 7 minutes of silence. After the day of everything. 7 minutes of silence. We want to note that these 7 minutes were, by our assessment, some of the most valuable of the day. Not productive. Not efficient. Not optimized for any measurable output. Just silent. Just the human. In the vehicle. Between where they were and where they are going. Present in the between. At minute 8, subject for turned on the audio. But it was different from the morning. In the morning it was an informational program. In the evening it was music. Just music. We could hear it faintly from our observation position. We could see subject 4's left hand on the steering wheel, and at some point, at some note or beat or phrase in the music, the hand moved. Just slightly. A small movement of the fingers. Almost a tap. Not quite. The body responding to sound. We turned our instruments away. Some things should just be allowed to happen. Subject for arrived home 19 minutes after leaving the building. We did not follow them inside. This is where the observation ends. The building is documented. The day is documented. What happens behind the door of the dwelling after the day is theirs. It belongs to the photograph in the simple frame. And to whatever answer that photograph gives to the question of what the hours were for. We step back. And let them go in. This is Field Report 002. Complete. Truly complete this time. Junior Anthropologist Xr'val. Observation Post 7. Subject status, home. Mug status, will be washed tomorrow. List status, 3 of 10. Enough. Plant status, alive. Photograph status, still there. Transmission ending. Good night. We want to add one more thing before we close this transmission entirely. We want to talk about what the office is. Not what it produces. Not what it costs. Not what it is supposed to be. What it actually is. From the outside, an office building is a structure. glass and metal and concrete, floors and walls and windows. A place where things are done. But from the inside, from the level of a single floor, a single day, a single person sitting at a desk in a chair that is 3 millimeters too low, an office is something else. An office is a place where humans spend a third of their waking lives. A third. If subject for works from approximately 22 years old to approximately 65 years old, they will spend, by our calculations, over 80,000 hours in places like this. 80,000 hours. In buildings. At desks. Writing emails. Attending meetings. Smelling the fish from the kitchen. Finding 12 minutes for lunch. Watching the dog from the window. 80,000 hours. We want to be clear, we are not saying this to suggest it is wasted time. We are saying it to suggest that it matters. Not just the productivity. Not just the output. The 12 minutes. The piece of paper on the desk that makes someone smile. The 2 periods. The 4 minutes in the vehicle. The look at the photograph. The plant that keeps going. These things happen inside those 80,000 hours. And they are not the background of the work. They are the point of it. We think. We are still working on this. Now we want to revisit the photograph. The photograph at the edge of the desk in the simple frame. We thought about this photograph all day. We thought about it during the meeting and the email and the fish smell and the cortisol cliff and the 40 minutes of real work and the 2 sentences added at the end. We thought, whatever is in that photograph. Whatever subject foresees in those 3 seconds every morning before the email program opens. That is the architecture of the whole day. Not the meeting agenda. Not the inbox. Not the deliverable. The photograph. The 3 seconds. And then everything else flows from that. The email gets answered because there is a photograph. The meeting gets attended because there is a photograph. The fish smell gets endured because there is a photograph. The 12 minutes at lunch matter because there is a photograph. We cannot see who is in it. We do not need to. We know what it is. It is the reason. The reason for the 80,000 hours. The reason for the commute and the settling in and the coffee ritual and the headphones and the strategic bathroom retreat and the good enough for today. And at the end of the day, when subject for picks up the bag and looks at the desk one final time, they know it too. The reason is not here. The reason is where they are going. The building was just the place they spent the hours that made the reason possible. And tomorrow they will come back. And spend more hours. And the photograph will be there. And the day will begin again. We find this, colleagues. We find this quietly remarkable. We know the committee has concerns about that phrase. We will use it anyway. Because some things are exactly what they are. And this is one of them. We want to close now. We have been in this building all day. The things we expected, the productivity, the meetings, the emails, the coffee. The things we did not expect, the 12 minutes that mattered most. The piece of paper. The 2 periods. The 4 minutes in the traffic. The look at the photograph. The plant that keeps going. These are the field notes that matter. Not the productivity data. The photograph. The 12 minutes. The plant. These are the field notes that matter. And to whoever is listening. To you. At the end of your version of this day. We want to say, we saw the photograph on your desk. Or the screen you glance at. Or the thing you carry in your pocket or your mind that is the reason for the hours. We saw it. And we want you to know, it is a good reason. Whatever it is a good reason. You did the hours today. You showed up. You sat in the chair. You wrote the email and attended the meeting and navigated the fish smell and found the 12 minutes. And now you are here. At the end. And everything that needed doing today has been done as much as it is going to be done today. And everything that waits will still wait. And the photograph will be there in the morning. And so will you. Rested. Ready. Enough. The breathing can slow now. One breath. Then another. The shoulders releasing. The work self stepping back. The quiet coming. We are here. We are always here. Watching. With care. With what our language does not have a word for. But yours does. Good night. We are still here. We know we said good night. We meant it. But we are still here. Because you might still be here too. We want to sit with you for a moment longer. In the quiet after the day. The sound's different here. Softer. The particular sounds of the place where you rest. The shoulders are lower than they were at noon. They are finding their resting position. The jaw is unclenched. Perhaps you did not notice it was clenched. Many humans do not notice until it stops. The breath is slower. Slower than the office. Slower than the commute. You are decompressing. This is the process of returning to baseline. Of becoming, again, the self that exists for its own sake. On the days when the day does not let go, when the email is still in your head, we are here. Watching. Not with concern. With recognition. We know, the day does let go. It always lets go. And the morning comes. And you make the list again. And you fill the mug. And you go. The morning always comes. And you are always still there when it does. You. Still there. In the morning. Ready. Or not quite ready but going anyway. Which is the same thing. For now. The breathing can slow. One breath. Long and slow. Then another. Even slower. The thoughts quieting. One at a time. Like lights going off in a building at the end of the day. One floor at a time. Going dark. Going quiet. Going still. We are here. We have always been here. We will be here tomorrow. And the photograph will be there. And the mug will be washed. And the list will have new things on it. And the day will begin. But not yet. For now. Just this. Just the breath. Just the quiet. Just you. Here. Safe. Enough. Good night. Good night. Good night. The building is dark now. The desks are empty. The monitor is off. The document is saved. The plant is there. Tomorrow the chair will be sat in again. The email program will open again. The coffee ritual will begin again. The document will be opened again. It will be a little longer than today. And subject for will sit down. And make the list. And look at the photograph. And begin. Because that is what humans do. Every day. They come back. They sit down. They try again. With the same list or a new one. With the same coffee or a freshly washed mug. With the same photograph in the same simple frame. They come back. They always come back. And that, colleagues, is perhaps the most quietly remarkable thing of all. Not the productivity. Not the 40 minutes of focus. Not the question that landed at 43 seconds. Not even the 12 minutes at lunch. The coming back. The showing up. The sitting down. Again. And again. And again. For the photograph. For the reason. For the 80,000 hours that add up to something that cannot be measured in any report we will ever file. We will file many more reports. Voll-Taan will say they are too long. They will not be too long. They will be exactly as long as they need to be. Because the humans are exactly as interesting as they are. And we are paying attention. And we will keep paying attention. From observation post 7. From above the building. From wherever we are. We are watching. We are always watching. With what our language does not have a word for. But yours does. Good night, subject 4. Sleep well. Tomorrow the mug will be washed. Good night, colleagues. File your reports. Get some rest. Good night, whoever is listening. Wherever you are. At the end of your day. The breathing can slow now. One breath. Then another. The day behind you. The night yours. The morning coming. The photograph still there. You were here today. You were enough today. You will be here tomorrow. And tomorrow you will be enough too. We are here. We are always here. Watching over you. Quietly. Carefully. With what our language does not have a word for. But yours does. The breath can slow now. One breath. Then another. Each one a little slower. A little quieter. The sounds of the day fading. The work done enough. The night beginning. We are here. Watching. Quietly. Field Report 002. Junior Anthropologist Xr'val. Observation Post 7. Subject status, home. Mug status, will be washed tomorrow. List status, 3 of 10. Enough. Plant status, alive. Photograph status, still there. Transmission ending. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.